Alright, so now we have a coordinate grid here that represents Shanice's data. Okay, we are trying to figure out at what rate does each biker travel. So I'm given a coordinate grid here, and I'm given a table here that represents Brian's speed. Okay, so let's first look at Shanice's speed. Shanice's speed is given to us in the coordinate grid. We see that across the x-axis, this tells me the number of hours. Going up my y-axis, this tells me my number of miles. So let's see at what rate Shanice was riding her bike. So when Shanice went 0 hours, she went 0 miles. I'm going to create a little table so that I can keep up with her information. I'm going to label it as hours for my x value, x column. And on my y column, I'm going to label this miles. Okay? So when she went 0 hours, she also went 0 miles. So that would be 0, 0. When she went 1 hour, she went 15 miles. 2 hours, she went 30 miles. 3 hours would be 45 miles. 4 hours would be 60 miles. 5 hours would be 75 miles. All right. Now, let's look at Brian's information in the table. So Brian, he did the exact same thing starting off. When he went 0 hours, he didn't go any what? Miles, okay? Then Brian went to 3 hours, and he went how many miles? 75 miles. Then when he went 6 hours, he went what? 150. So our job is to determine what our unit rate would be, or what the rate would be that Shanice is traveling and Brian is traveling. So here's how you figure that out. You're simply going to divide your y column by your x column. So I'm not going to use 0, 0 because I know that's going to equal to 0. So let's start with the first ratio in each table. I'm going to go y divided by x. So here's what that looks like. Y divided by x. So my y value is 15 in Shanice's table. So 15 divided by 1 is 15. 30 divided by 2 is 15. 45 divided by 3 is also 15. So if I divide y divided by x all the way down Shanice's table, I see that she's going at a rate of 15 what?
Miles.
Shanice is going 15 miles per what?
Hour.
Per hour. All right, now let's check out Brian. Let's see if Brian was faster than Shanice. So Brian, we're not going to start at 0, 0. Again, now this table is horizontal. That's a little bit different from our vertical table. So we still have x and y columns. So the first line represents my x value. So I'm going to put an x here. The second line represents my y values. Okay? So this will simply look like 75 divided by 3. So think about quarters, okay? If I have 75 and I put it into 3 equal groups, how much money do I have? 25 cents. All right, if I have $1.50 and I split it with 6 people, how much money are they getting?
25
cents. So what this means is that Brian is going
5 miles per hour.
All right, so Brian is going 25 miles per hour. So that simply tells you the answer to A, which says at what rate does each biker travel. Shanice travels at 15 miles per hour. Brian travels at 25 miles per hour. Part B wants us to save this answer so that Shanice will win the race, right? So at this point, Shanice is only going 15 miles per hour. That's really slow, right? So we want to create a graph that will show Shanice in the lead, okay? We want to leave Brian behind the dirt. So here's what it should look like. Now the graphs may vary, but when I reach 3 hours or 1 hour, I should be ahead of Brian. Okay, so it doesn't tell me what Brian is at when he's at 1 hour, right? But I know his unit rate. His unit rate tells me he's going 25 miles in what?
1 hour.
1 hour. So I just have to beat 25 miles in 1 hour, right? So if I want to win, we're going to label our coordinate grid again. Okay, I'm just going to say that this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Right? And then down here, this represents my hours. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. If I want to win at 1 hour, I have to be greater than what?
25.
Greater than Brian's 25 miles. So what number up here could be greater than 25 miles?
30.
30 is greater than 25 miles. I could have went to 40, could have went to 50. As long as it's greater than his 25 miles in 1 hour. Now, if I'm increasing by 30, when I reach 2 hours, how far would I have gone?
60.
To 60. When I reach 3 hours, how far would I have gone?
90.
90, so I need to make my graph go up a little bit higher. And I'm going to stop there because I can keep going on and on and on. So now, is this a graph that shows Shanice in the lead?
Yes.
Yes. So here's what you learned. You learned that you can find the unit rate from a table by dividing the Y column by the X column. You learned that you can look at it on a coordinate grid. So all we did was we took the points, the ordered pairs, from this graph and put it on a ratio table, correct? And divide Y divided by X. You can also do that with the horizontal table. Label your columns. The first one is your X column. The second is your Y. You're dividing the second column by the first column. So 75 divided by 3. That's where we got 25 from Brian. 150 divided by 6 was also 25. And then, so you're going to do this same information, use the same information throughout the entire packet to finish answering the remaining questions in the packet. All right, the problem set from this lesson is your homework. So go ahead and get started. Use your notes from this example to help you answer the rest of the questions.